Hi everyone. This is probably a bit of an unusual demo because it is not really Debian related. It's just showing what I have been doing in the last several years if I were not working on Debian. I'm a musician and I'm blind, so I came across music notation at some point in my life, and I realized that's a thing rather hard to deal with because music notation is inherently two-dimensional, so it's not something that you can easily describe in text. And if you describe it in just normal text, then it gets rather long-winded and you probably it's just too much. So there's a special code actually, it's called Braille Music Notation, was invented roughly 100 years ago by the inventor of Braille actually, which is a rather compact representation of music notation in just Braille dots. It uses the 6-dot Braille system. Yeah, so the point is there's actually no free software for this. There are one or two very, very incomplete implementations around. So I decided to do something about this and write software about it. First implementation was something to convert music XML to Braille music. Was interesting, but it was kind of a prototype. So I found my dead ends and realized I have to start again. So the current project I'm working on is called BMC, the Braille Music Compiler, because I decided to do the more complicated direction first, which is to parse Braille music and produce some data structure from it. Yeah, that's basically the idea, and the other idea is to make this software help you in many, many ways. One thing is, when I learned to read Braille music, I was not able to know if I really were interpreting it correctly. So I always wanted some software that could play the sounds to me. That's one big goal. And the other big goal is to make it easier for sighted and blind people to cooperate on music. What BMC is currently doing is it reads Braille music notation, parses it, and then it can actually generate Lillipond or music XML from that, so that you can enter music notation from the perspective of a blind person in your native format and have it presented to some sighted person who has no idea about Braille music notation. Current idea is basically it parses this rather complicated code. It generates Lillipond of it, and Lillipond does the rest of the work. So we generate SVG output and MIDI and whatnot. And now that I'm actually at a point where the backend is useful and doing some things, we actually started to create a GUI. This user interface is about 4 months old, so it's really just experimenting around. It's the first time we started, first time I and actually we worked with Qt. So it's a rather new thing, but I think we have made some nice progress, and I just wanted to show this off actually. Was hast du jetzt laufen? Das ist normal Standard, also nur oben reinrufen, nichts. Genau, ich würde es einfach mal übersetzen. So what this software can do is actually translate this automatically to a visual representation, thanks to Lillipond actually. And ja, ich würde einfach mal so haben oder so. And the backend system actually knows about musical objects from both representations. So you can hover over a visual note and have it highlighted in the actual Braille music code. You can also click on a visual note so that the editing cursor in the Braille music editor window is positioned. This is just to facilitate working together between blind and sighted people, because if you're like, I'm in this node, I'm in this C down there, you can just point the mouse at it and click it, and actually the same node will be under the cursor for the blind person. You can also create your own Braille music. So this is just like one of the example files I ship with the project. It's something from Bach. But you can also, and that's the idea, if you can write Braille music yourself, you can very easily input. Yeah?
Okay, I will show this. This is like the Braille dots that Mario sees on the Braille display. And this is the lower part is what the representation is of the music. If I hover over this note, I see like this is a G, and I see the highlighted area is actually 3 characters. And so you see like for this 8th G, you need 3 characters to represent. It gets even funnier. For example, for this, you have like a G with a slur to the next, or tie, whatever it is called. There are also 3 characters, but completely different. And just to show you and give you a feel how like complicated this is for even the sighted people, there's like a mode where you can use show this without using Braille notation, and it looks then like this.
The idea,
so if I like, and now I can also compile it, like,
The idea here is that Braille actually always represents something. The encoding for a normal text is just Braille dots. And as a Braille user, you know the representation by heart, so you can actually enter Braille music by just using the normal computer keyboard.
Mm-hmm. So here you see like this node represents a J, a comma, a double quote, and a C. Great stuff. And the fun thing is you can like enter. That's the only example I know. And if I like render this, I get this. And the funny thing is, I can like reformat this. This is was intentionally made for like if to reflow or to like justify it and only display, for example, 20 columns or more or less. And if I press reformat, this code gets converted in Braille notation too. So
you can actually see what it looks like on a Braille display.
And it still works. Yeah. Basically that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the state of things. If anyone is interested in music, free software, and strange accessibility technology, I'm really looking for people who might be willing to contribute to this, especially because I'm rather new to Qt. If you're a good Qt programmer and if you see like things which could be done, then just talk to me. Would be very nice. Thanks.